Howdy, folks. Chris Armstrong here, your candidate for Wisconsin CD7 to fill the seat being vacated by Tom Tiffany. As was the case with the CD7 meet and greet last March, alas, I'm unable to join you in person today as I'm at my niece's wedding in Milwaukee this weekend. And as much as I wanted to be there just days before Tuesday's primary, I felt it was more important to be at this once-in-a-time event with my family. However, I'm privileged that some of our campaign volunteers are here in attendance, so please stop by our table, engage in some thoughtful conversations, and pick up some of our provocative buttons. If you have any specific questions for me, they'll be happy to collect those and get them to me for follow-up before Tuesday. Hard to believe this journey started for me 18 months ago. Seems like yesterday, but also a lifetime ago. Back in February 2025, I was enraged by the flurry of illegal, unconstitutional, and un-American executive orders coming out of the White House, and the sledgehammer Elon and Doge were taken to the federal government. And I was totally gobsmacked that no one was doing anything about it. I decided to take matters into my own hands and started protesting by myself at the busiest intersection in downtown New Richmond. As the spring election for Susan Crawford approached, I decided that after years of putting up lawn signs and voting that I needed to get off my butt and do something instead of crossing my fingers and hoping it would all work out. In March 2025, I got involved with the Democratic Party to help get out the vote. After Susan Crawford's victory, I decided to host a hands-off protest in New Richmond on April 5th, 2025, and over 250 people attended, Democrats, Independents, and Republicans. And after that, I founded New Richmond Indivisible with other local organizers. I was the first candidate from either party to enter the race later in April 2025 before Tom Tiffany had declared his candidacy for governor. Of course, you know why Tiffany decided to run for governor. He knew that he was going to lose to me. When I started protesting last year, I never imagined I'd be running for Congress today. It's pretty crazy the path life sets you on. You don't often know the destination when you begin the voyage. I'm just a normal guy who grew up here, raised my family here, and started my own business here. I grew up on the Apple River, north of Star Prairie in Polk County, and went to school in Amory. Got my degree in astrophysics from the University of Minnesota, raised both my kids in New Richmond, where I currently live with my wife, Diana. And for the last 30 plus years, I've been the owner of a small IT business with offices in Hudson and New Richmond. My qualifications are that I'm a long-time, everyday Wisconsin resident who is fed up with the status quo from both parties. I've been steadfast in my conviction that Congress must stop the lawlessness and corruption of the Trump administration. Whether it's the illegal war in Iran, tearing down the East Wing of the White House, building the nonsensical ballroom, the insane tariffs, the assault on science, our environment and national parks, the Epstein cover-up, masked ICE thugs murdering innocent people, this government is doing everything it can to make life worse for everyone except the ultra-rich and well-connected. The first thing I'm going to do when I'm seated in the House of Representatives is work with my fellow members to impeach Donald Trump and his cabinet and see that they are convicted and removed from office. What's the point of passing any new legislation when this administration breaks the law, flouts the Constitution, and ignores the will of the people every single day? We are a nation of laws, not men. Today is the worst day of the Trump administration, until tomorrow. While I don't wish it on anyone, by the time we get to November 3rd, things are going to be very, very bad. And can you even imagine what it's going to be like during the lame duck period after the election before the new Congress is sworn in? It's going to make the Purge movie look like a game of patty cake. When January 2027 comes around, people are going to be begging us to impeach him. And you know, Trump is totally freaking out about what's coming because he knows the end is near. And he's right to be frightened. You know, you're not paranoid if they're out to get you. And believe me, we are coming for him and his band of criminals and thieves. So what needs to be done? The U.S. does not have a money problem. We have a priority and allocation problem. We need to fund the things that make family life possible. Affordable health care and housing, paid family leave, and accessible child care should not be considered perks. We'll know things are getting better when our children and grandchildren decide to stay here and raise their families, in addition to enticing new people to relocate here and take in all that the Northwoods has to offer. To get there, we need to raise taxes on the ultra-wealthy and remove loopholes that allow them and corporations to avoid paying their fair share. Remove the cap on Social Security contributions. We need to implement Medicare for all, provide family leave and child care to our families, protect our environment, invest in our children's education, abolish ICE and CBP, deliver immigration reform, help our veterans, house the homeless, feed the hungry, support unions and working class people, invest in renewable energy, and adopt sensible international trade and ag policies. As some may know, it took 16 years for the citizens of Hungary to vote out their authoritarian, nationalistic, and fascist leader, Viktor Orban. Perhaps it takes 16 years for people to wake up and understand their government isn't working for them. 2026 marks 16 years since Scott Walker was elected. Republicans seized both houses of the state legislature and gerrymandered our federal elections amongst implementing a multitude of heinous policies that have helped nobody in Wisconsin. I believe 2026 is the year of the people, and after 16 years of representation by Sean Duffy and Tom Tiffany, the people of the 7th District are hungry for bold, fearless, and relentless representative who will advocate for policies that make life better for everyday Wisconsinites. The time for timidity and hand-wringing is over. Elect me to represent you, and I'll be sure to stand by you as I stood on that corner 1 year ago. And why some say there's a blue wave coming, I think it's going to be a red, white, and blue wave. There's nothing we can't do when we work together to demand change.